Okay, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Stonks Maxxing. This is day 65, and pulled up ahead of me, I have a little spreadsheet of forward revenues from Bloomberg for our three hyperscalers: Google Cloud, AWS, and Azure, or Azure. Don't know how to actually pronounce it 100%, but these three are kind of the big, how should I say this? They are the big providers of, or big spenders of CapEx for the upcoming years. I think a lot of people have been debating the size and magnitude of the amount of spending that they're doing, and then also the actual benefits in terms of revenue, earnings for all of this spend on AI data centers, and capital expenditures. Okay, I gotta work on enunciating my words a bit better and talking sternly, not sternly, but with confidence and the ability to promote my ideas in a very succinct and clear way. All right. So I think in this case, what I want to do here is I have a lot of ideas on this musing on AI piece that I was writing. I was planning on presenting this next Monday for a little meeting that I have in my internship. But all of this stuff is public information, so I don't think there's anything super secret here. I'm just using stuff I found on the internet and then Bloomberg, which really is just data that they probably scraped from the internet as well. Okay, so I think to start off with this question of AI, maybe it'll be helpful to kind of understand what are the key topics or key question, being asked today. So key questions being asked. I think the first one is how much money do hyperscalers plan on spending build out the infrastructure for AI. The second really key question is how long will it take for this money spending to be paid back? Another way, how much is the total economic benefits of this new technology? I think those are probably the three key questions. I was gonna add maybe a fourth one here. The fourth one is, what is the key application for AI, right? So maybe it'll be helpful to have a little chart of where we're at today in terms of how hyperscale Max 7 companies have been performing. Yeah, I think that should be a good idea. Let's take a look. Mag 7 stocks chart. Index. Oh, nice. But seems like it's blocked under a paywall, which is great. Let's see, what is this? CNBC Magnificent 7 Index. Okay, this is very helpful. Let's zoom in here. So we can kind of see that some of this peaked. I guess the valuations of the 7 companies ended up peaking in 309 on July 10th. Okay, so let's so where are we today? Oops. Most recent screenshot on the Mag 7 index tracked by CNBC. The collective value of companies peaked on July 10th, 2024, and have since drawn down had a max drawdown. So max drawdown, I'm referring to kind of the peak to trough percent decline. So I think if you look at that, you have 309, and then in this case 253. From 309 to 253. So I think in terms of percent forms, we just take 309 divided by 253. Oh, sorry, we take 253, divide that by 309. Just to approximate, I'm going to take 250, divide that by 300. So how many times does 50 go into 300? It's about 6 times. Goes into 250 5 times, so it'll be 5 divided by 6. Then that becomes, I think, approximately, so 6 is 66%. If we divide 33% by 2, then that gives us maybe around 12 to 11, somewhere between there. Sorry, not 12, 17 to 16, somewhere around there. So we'll round up to 17. Yeah, 17 plus 66. That is, I believe, 76 plus 7, so that's 83%. Yeah, that's my best guess. And subtract 1, so that's going to be negative 17% drawdown. 309 divided by 253 minus 1. Okay, 20%. Ooh, okay. Wait. 259. Yeah. 309. Okay, minus, it's pretty close, minus 18%. Okay. I said minus 17%. Alright, that's besides the point though. Just trying to keep my mind sharp, get some of that mental math in, though it's not really that great. So max drawdown from 309 to 253. Okay. That is helpful. From that from the low point on August 7th, which I think was Monday. Wait, so today's Tuesday, August 13th. August 12th was Monday. I think 5 days before that. I always get confused with dates, so this is helpful. So I think we could subtract 5 directly from that. So that would be going back 5 dates from a Monday, I think is a Wednesday. Let's double check. So Monday the 12th, Sunday the 11th, Saturday the 10th, Friday the 9th, Thursday the 8th, Wednesday the 7th. Okay. 24. So Wednesday, I think at this point, a lot of the carry trades have already unwinded. Maybe, perhaps. I think we also saw that there was some softening in the jobs report. I think that was probably August. So 7th was Wednesday. I think it was maybe the Friday. Or even Monday before that. Okay. Yeah, it could have been Friday, could have been Monday. Let me see. I think it was non-farm payrolls. Sorry, not August 2nd. Calendar. Ooh, so it did decline before that. Alright, I'm getting a call. Let me pick this up real quick. Yo. Your brain. I'm streaming right now, if that's okay.
Okay, I'll watch my show.
Yeah, I'm just streaming to 0 people though, so I think it'll be okay. I'll sit you over here. Do you want me to mute myself? Okay. Huh? If you want to, I would like to still hear you, but if you don't want to be caught on this, then go ahead. Yeah. Okay, so why July? What came out in July in terms of recent week saw lots of volatility from the poor jobs report from a non-farm payrolls report that was softer than expected. Yeah, let me see if I can bring up the Moody's economy.com. Damn, okay, I don't remember. Okay. Trying to think. All right. Yeah, I was just trying to think what I need to do. Okay. So I need to take a look at this email in order to get the login.
My Duolingo.
Get your Duolingo done, fool. Okay, let's see if we can log in. Login is logging in. Let's take a look at the economic view indicators. Jobless claims. Okay. What came out on 31st? Nothing too much. Month-over-month growth, actual growth, as opposed to the consensus 75,000 month-to-month estimated growth. Okay, so this is very key here. It seems like there's about a 31,000. So 31,000, about a 31,000 difference. I guess in terms of, let's say, value that can be generated. If you think about maybe 31,000 jobs, let's say each person gets 10,000, so kind of their annual salary is $10,000, right? Then you add 4 zeros behind this, so that's around $310 million that's added to the economy. Okay, I can see why jobs could be so valuable, because if you do add jobs, that's adding value directly to the economy. You're giving people money, and they're in turn probably going to be spending that money on food, shelter, hospitality. I guess that falls into shelter. Services, I think that's a big trend these days. This idea of service and experiences as opposed to consumer goods and tangible items. So maybe that's a new spending category that people are splurging on a little bit. Okay, so this is maybe a good update to what the situation is right now. I think one thing we should probably note is you actually have, so this, from the trough of 253, now it's back up to 272. And that is within the span of, so it's just 6 days, pretty much this week. In a span of a week, the index is back at what it was just before VIX. I wouldn't say the VIX, just before the sharp sell-off. Alright, so let's see what NVIDIA's at. 116. Okay. Should have got in. Shoot. $16.58. Nice. Intel stock. I was invested in Intel stock. Okay, we'll see what happens with that one. That one is maybe a bit of a pipe dream. I don't really know too much about the company to be able to make a sound decision there. So, yeah, that would definitely be an interesting few streams to really dive into the company. Okay, now that we've gone here, 272, oops, so around 272. This is, I think, 272 minus 253. That's one. A 7% decline. 7% increase. Okay. So now index is at 272, around 7% growth. All right. Yeah, so maybe the way I kind of want to structure this is maybe try to answer some of these key questions. Think about what the potential answers could be. I don't think there's going to be an exact answer for really any of these. But I think it's a good kind of thought exercise to go through this, right? Okay. So, question 1, let's go with this. Hyperscalers plan on spending Okay, yeah, I want to make sure I remember exactly what I wrote down. So I don't fully remember everything, that's for sure. There's a lot of stuff I did forget here. Builders of AI infrastructure. 4 names come to mind. So we have 1, Amazon, 2, Microsoft, Alphabet, Google, and Meta. Yeah. These guys Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet are known as hyperscalers due to their cloud, which is a fancy name to describe a company that offers cloud services. Put another way, company that has lots of data centers via leases or outright ownership. To run software applications. Yeah, that's kind of the big idea of what these hyperscalers do. Amazon, Microsoft, Alphabet, AWS, Azure, Google Cloud Platform. These are the quote-unquote hyperscalers that just have a shit ton of data centers, and you can run, let's say you're a startup, you can run your application on maybe 4 of the servers that are housed within these data centers. If you're a enterprise large company like Capital One, then you could distribute your entire software application across multiple different servers in Virginia, Illinois, Idaho, California, wherever Amazon has a data center, you can run your application there. So I think that's the big idea. Now, it would be nice to get a little picture of the CapEx spend over time. To 2024 alone, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Meta spent $224 billion on CapEx to fund to build out the AI infrastructure for the next build out AI infrastructure. So the CapEx spend to, let's see, the AI CapEx spend can be roughly split up in 2 halves. 50% towards GPUs, 50% towards, we'll call this compute / processing power. Land, energy, steel. Operations. Yeah, so I guess when you're looking at different industries that could benefit from this entire build out of infrastructure, you have utilities, maybe even steel materials manufacturing. You have your GPUs and processor type companies, semiconductor companies, and then you also have maybe a small sliver of this whole AI pie, which is surely a good chunk of money to be made, is networking. So I think this is referring to actually within the data center itself. You need to be able to transfer data from either different server racks, connect them to each other. So I think this is with either Ethernet, maybe InfiniBand, which is something that NVIDIA has. I don't know the exact technology behind it, but I think it's worth looking into. So this is kind of the estimated cost of building out, let's say, a single data center facility, right? Oh, okay, so yeah, this is the run rate. So let me not add this. Extrapolated. Con from Sequoia extrapolated this for the next 12 months to come out with a 229 billion, to come up with a 200 capex run rate. Okay, so mainly spearheaded by Microsoft, it seems like. I wouldn't say mainly then. Spearheaded by Microsoft. Spearheaded by Microsoft for a cool 76 billion estimated spend. I mean, in that case, right, how much does it cost to... How much does it cost to build a AI data center? Ooh, okay, yeah, this is where I think it would be interesting. I have some slides from my internship I could probably tap into. That would be interesting. Cause yeah, this might be some type of trade secret. Stargate, okay. Project Stargate, I mean, that sounds cool. Unequivocally. Data center. Okay, maybe like an appendix of sorts would be helpful, but just grab the numbers around 55 billion. Products, sure, enterprise. A la carte models, infrastructure as a service, platform as a service. Built-in service called SageMaker is a fully integrated environment of tools for enterprisers and developers with MLOps. Okay. 1 to 25 years on data centers. Oh, so Avago, Broadcom. I think Broadcom, yeah, they were described as kind of this publicly traded private equity fund that was masquerading as a semiconductor company. Yeah, here we go. And so I think why it's actually popping off today, it ended up purchasing this company called LSI Logic. And what they do is they actually create these custom chips. So for a hyperscaler like Alphabet, I think they saw that NVIDIA is maybe charging us a little bit too much for these H100 GPUs or H1000 GPUs. I forgot what the number is at the end of the H. But taking some of Google's human capital, human labor, there's a lot of smart people there. They designed this tensor processing unit, a TPU chip, that they then contract, I think, LSI Logic to help produce, to help manufacture. Let me double check whether or not does LSI Logic manufacture chips or does it design chips? So what is Broadcom? So they do manufacture, it seems like. They do manufacture chips. Okay. Application-specific integrated circuit. So how long would it take for the spend to be paid back? That is a very interesting question. This is a difficult question. So this is probably one of the harder, if not impossible, questions to answer. looking at analyst estimates can maybe bring some value. Okay, so I think this is maybe where we can take a look at the forward estimates that we described here in our little Excel spreadsheet. Yeah. Just realized it would be nice to have all of these, oops, no, not show up there. Okay, waiting for double click. I guess it's the Google ad. Okay. But looking at analyst estimates bring some clarity, right? So I think it's probably one of the harder, if not possible, questions to answer. Estimates can bring some clarity. Okay. Yeah, let's take a look. So I wonder if I could build out a little graph here. Let's see, insert maybe a recommended chart. Yeah, let me add this. AWS, then Azure. Okay. Insert. Yeah, so this is going to be all forward looking. So Azure has surprisingly caught up with AWS. That's what people are forecasting. Okay. Cloud revenue per year. Okay, so at this point then, I mean, you already have ooh, they didn't even include that. Ka. Okay, so I think then this is a pretty reasonable, I wouldn't say reasonable, I don't know if that's the right word to describe it, but I think this does work out economically. If cloud revenues can scale at this level, and the total amount of revenue that's generated by these hyperscalers should be enough to pay back the spend that was generated to actually build these data centers in the first place, right? So if you think about money spent on GPUs, the money spent on the land, the money spent on the steel, needed to build the data center, the actual laborers, the contractors for those data centers. So you have all of these moving pieces together that David Kahn estimates to be around $300 million. Sorry, $300 billion with a B. And this is a number that's pretty consistent with that. Maybe $50 billion less, which is pretty close, maybe, when you're working with these types of numbers. Yeah, it looks kind of blurry. I wonder how I can add a label here. I don't know. Let's see. So cumulative. So that's $1 trillion. Man. Okay, not an actuality, but when you kind of look at the revenue that's been generated, cumulative revenue is $1 trillion. That's a lot. Yeah. Let's try to insert a little chart here. Another chart. So this is a total chart. Total cloud revenues, hyperscalers. Okay, then let's insert this isn't the so cumulative cloud total cloud revenues. So analysts are estimating that Azure will eventually AWS will eventually cross the 160 billion revenue mark by 2026. So that's just 2 years. Oh, no, it's not. Okay. 150 billion mark. So man, that's about a 50, so $25 billion per year in additional. Okay. No, that's 50 billion from each. Yeah, maybe Azure is a bit of a misnomer. Since it's not just Azure or Azure, but also some other cloud services included in there as well. Casted for 2024. So, analysts, they're thinking of a quick ramp up almost in 2026 and 2027. I think it's fair, so give about, we're halfway through 2024, so about like a year and a half, maybe 2 years for this AI thing to kind of play its course, see what happens. And I think at that point might be a good time where you see a lot of this. Okay. So that's what they're expecting. That's how Apple and I wouldn't say Apple. That's how Amazon, Microsoft, and Alphabet are maybe being priced today. Years, both companies, 25, 26, both companies will need to acquire 25 each, 25 million each from customers wanting to use their cloud services for hosting and AI. Yeah. Is there even enough money to do that out there in the world? $20 billion each. So that's a collective 50 billion. No, that's a collective 100 billion. Yeah. Together. Yeah, it would be nice to have the actual numbers populated here. Chart design. Oops. Maybe we cut this back. Okay. Yeah, this is actually pretty nice. I like this chart design. So revenues among hyperscalers. Quick layout, yeah. The incremental costs. Incremental revenue generated per year is mind-boggling. Expected to be 306 billion by the end of next year. And 440 billion by the end of 2027. Yeah. So $440 billion. Is that even imaginable? Allison, is that even imaginable? I have no idea. Cumulative revenues alone from should generate. So the cumulative revenues alone from analyst estimates of these hyperscalers should generate enough revenue by 2026 to answer the $600 billion AI question. This must mean the market is fairly optimistic about the revenue, so about the potential for new applications. Yeah. So I think this must mean the market is optimistic about AI adoption. Cross enterprise clients. It's likely businesses throw money to yeah, so first question was how long will it be paid back? Okay, first question definitely was how much is being spent. Second, I think, is when is it going to be paid back? And third, how much is it the total economic benefit of this new technology? What is the key application for AI? To what are AI's killer apps? Revenues only tell part of the story. Other part revolves around the applications that can be built on top of this infrastructure. Platforms that can be built on top of this infrastructure all generates another layer of revenues and revenue for So cloud revenues only tell part of the story. The other part revolves around applications and platforms that can be built on top of this infrastructure. So there are two ways, I think there are two ways can drive value. It is revenue generating and profit generating. Increases productivity and efficiency in businesses. Growth. Bottom line growth, margin expansion. Okay. So today, the AI apps that have been able to generate revenue have been foundation companies that sell AI inference capabilities like OpenAI, other enterprise clients. OpenAI acts almost like a database provider. Via API calls or custom enterprise solutions. So I think fine-tuning access to models, fine-tuning, consulting work. On the to have 3 million run rate revenue in July. The information on the productivity and efficiency side, I guess productivity can be thought of as, okay, the output divided by the input, maybe the output divided by the number of hours worked. Companies are seeing use cases in the HR department. Companies like Klarna, I think Rakuten, OpenAI. Excuse me. Prizes. can do the work of 700 customer service staff. Task writing. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure exactly what this means. Okay, I think though this is probably where I'm going to end the stream here. Big question is, what are AI's killer apps and how much is the total economic benefit of this new technology? I think total economic impacts of the internet. Let me see if I could just ask Perplexity. Attributed to value add. Where's the IAB? So it seems like this is a sort of trade group. It's not super, maybe it's not super rigorous. Yeah. Derived for 5 trillion attributed to the US 21.18 trillion GDP. That's a lot. Okay, yeah, I think these 4 questions are a good conversation starter about what's going on here. Tomorrow, might have to look into what's going on with Google and maybe what's going on with the Super microcomputers, so SMCI. Get some input there. Okay. with that being said, thanks for tuning in. This was a very interesting stream. I think there's a lot to unpack here, and catch you guys the next one. Peace.